January 21, 1909, The Philadelphia Record, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Weird wild beast has Jersey's nerve. Spoils church attendance, displaces curfew, and promotes domestic happiness. Timid ones lay low. Scientific snoopers get going. Some of the scared residents of South Jersey were last night discussing the advisability of sending an urgent message to President Roosevelt to hasten to New Jersey with his biggest gun to hunt down the strange thing that has the entire population of 4 counties guessing. Nobody has offered a promising solution of the mystery as yet, but the strange tracks continue to multiply and spread terror among the timid ones of the wide area covered. While the mystery sticks and the tracks continue to be discovered in many spots, the sensation has caused a marked falling off in church and lodge attendance at night. It has the curfew beaten to a frazzle. Wives agree that it is promoting domestic happiness and harmony by keeping husbands home nights, and scientific men are getting busy on the investigation of the uncanny mystery. Added to the places already heard from, news came yesterday from Riverton, Burlington, Bordentown, and several other points along the Delaware River, showing that the beast or bird or evil thing, or whatever it is, may be making its way northward and seeking new fields to terrify. As it has wandered to Bordentown, the birthplace and original field of operations of the Leeds Devil, some of the old-time superstitious ones of that locality hark back to the days of that restless and uncanny creature, half human and half demon, which roamed the land for years. But observations taken by wholly veracious and upright citizens, even in temperance localities, agree that the footprints of this new terror bear no resemblance to the cloven hoof of Leeds Devil of earlier fame, nor is there any wide divergence of description of the marks left in the snow by this unknown and restless thing. Everywhere, they are described as the imprints of what appear to be the hoof of a pony, only there are but 2 legs which walk in a straight line, 1 foot before the other directly. A correspondent of the Record yesterday succeeded in getting a good photograph of the imprints in the yard of the late Joseph Clements property on Cooper Street, Woodbury. They appear to have been made by the animal moving away from the house toward the end of the yard, but the thing that made them appears to have vanished into the air. Some startling stories are coming out of the general scare now, but others may be expected when things get fairly started. Nelson Evan of number 208 Mercer Street, Gloucester, declares that he and his wife saw the uncanny thing. He says they were awakened about 2:30 o'clock on Monday morning by a noise on the shed roof. Getting up, they saw a bird about 3 feet 6 inches high, with wings 2.5 feet long, with a head like a collie dog, but with a horse's face, a neck like a crane, 4 legs, the 2 front ones being very short. The bird flew away shortly after they saw it. The prints made in the snow are similar to those seen elsewhere. The mysterious tracks are plainly to be seen in the snow in yards at the homes of William H. Wilson, Orson H. Brown, Walter Reynolds, Joseph Holloway, and others in Bordentown. The thing had come out of them and crossed Prince Street. Mayor Isaac Gable, with City Marshal Thorne and other persons, visited the locality where the animal had been, and the mayor made a diagram of the imprint. The foot measures 4 inches in length and 3 inches in width, which is the same measurement made elsewhere. Determined to trap, shoot, or in some way disclose the identity of the creature whose marks are to be seen in practically every block in Burlington City, farmers yesterday set out hundreds of steel traps where the uncanny tracks are most plainly marked in the snow, and last night scores of young men, armed with shotguns, were watching for the strange beast that has thrown that section into a state bordering on panic. Efforts of a party of young farmers living near Jacksonville to track the creature yesterday proved fruitless. Hounds, put on the trail, refused to follow the tracks and, with bristling hair and the picture of terror, ran home. The farmers followed the tracks for nearly 4 miles, when the hoofprints mysteriously disappeared. The footprints of what many old residents believe is the Leeds Devil, which was a real terror to lonely neighborhoods in bygone years, appear in practically every part of Burlington. If devils they are, then there must be a whole troop of them, for the tracks in some places are big enough for a horse, yet lead through fence holes but 2 feet high, while at other places they are as small as 2 inches in diameter. In a yard in the rear of the store of Joseph Loudon, the tracks lead under the shed and around the yard, and stop beside a garbage can which was overturned, and its contents partly devoured. At the home of Philip Gallagher, the hoof marks are on the roof of a shed, along a snow-covered fence top, and even on a window ledge. Miss A. M. Hunter of Riverton has a theory of her own concerning the marks in the snow, which she has observed for the past 2 years, she says. But her theory has some discrepancies. She writes, "If someone with a gun would keep close watch, they would find out what those pony foot tracks are. They visited my place once for quarry tools, and then took off the pony shoes and wore shoes the same as any other man. Last Saturday night, they opened my chicken coop, went to the fence, and slipped off the shoes again. The tracks have been seen here several times for 2 years. But Miss Hunter's theory will not explain the presence of the tracks over a stretch of territory nearly 30 miles across and covering 4 counties. Her idea that some night prowler has put on pony shoes to circumvent discovery will not fit the appearance of the marks in such places as no human being can wriggle, nor account for the owner of the hoofs or feet squirming through holes hardly big enough to permit a cat to pass." J. Henry Yeager, a deer hunter of Riverton, said yesterday he had closely examined the tracks found in places there, and was sure they were not those of a deer, for the reason that they are too large and the hoof is not cloven. He says the marks appear to have been made by a 2-legged animal with a frog in the foot and indentures in the shoe. They are 2 3/4 inches long and 3 inches wide. The strides about 18 to 20 inches apart, and as the imprints suddenly vanish, he is of the impression that they are made by something that has power of flight. What it may be he does not venture to suggest. It is past him. As though there should be no cause of jealousy on the part of this city in the sensation New Jersey is enjoying, the rare beast has deigned to pay Philadelphia a visit or two, just to show its wide range of power. The marks can be plainly seen in the side yard of William Helmbold's home, number 2337 North 18th Street, and they tally exactly with those discovered in the South Jersey sections. They are also visible in the rear yards of the houses numbers 328, 330, and 332 North Darien Street, all just alike. As in other sections, the imprints seem to have had no start anywhere, nor any visible ending, as though the maker of them had dropped out of the air and returned to it after making the necessary investigation. Trips off to Chester, Pennsylvania, January 20. The mysterious creature, which has been perambulating through New Jersey, has reached this city. The footprints were first detected in the rear of Robert J. Knott's hennery. They are very plain, showing that the creature, although it has hoofs, is a 2-legged creature. The tracks in the snow lead from the chicken house to Chester Creek, a distance of 300 feet. Within a few yards of the creek is a 7-foot board fence, which the animal either climbed or flew over. Similar tracks were seen today in the vicinity of 20th and Edgemont Avenue, and along the Pennsylvania Railroad tracks near the Baldwin Locomotive Works in Eddystone, and also in the western section of this city.